So what video game am I playing this week? It's Q*bert! Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Bye-bye.
Q*bert was an arcade game developed and published for the North American market by Gottlieb in 1982. It's a 2D action game with puzzle elements that uses an isometric graphics to create a fake 3D effect. The object of each level of the game is to try and change every cube in the pyramid to the target color. Sometimes that's hitting the cube once, but it may also, as higher levels go on, take multiple times to get the right color. The player does use a joystick, but unlike most arcade games, it's not an 8-way or a standard 4-way. It's diagonals only. Which is kind of why it's also been hard to port the game to the home because of that. The designers were Warren Davis and Jeff Lee. I honestly can't name all the platforms that Q*bert was released for, because it had a ton. But some of the more common machines you can find Q*bert on, of course, was the arcade, the Atari 2600, Atari 5200, Atari 8-bit line, and ColecoVision, which probably had the best port of the early consoles. Commodore 64, Game Boy Color, MSX, VIC-20, and Television, NES, the Bang-the-Box Odyssey 2, mobile platforms, SG-1000 from Sega. They had a standalone tabletop version, the TI-994A, ZX Spectrum, Game Boy, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, Dreamcast, and so many more. Q*bert was very well received in the arcades among the critics. The game was Gottlieb's most successful game and among the most recognized brands from the golden age of arcade games. As I said before, it was ported to multiple platforms, and it did so well. There were some sequels made for Q*bert, but never quite reached the same level of success as the original Q*bert. One of Q*bert's most notable characteristics is his swearing. His incoherent phrase is made of synthesized speech generated by the sound chip. So when you play the game, you're the player of Q*bert, who starts out each game at the top of the pyramid made of 28 cubes, and moves by hopping diagonally from cube to cube. The landing on the cube causes it to change color, and then changing the color every time to get to the target color allows the player to go to the next level. Now, again, Q*bert, like Pac-Man, is fairly well known who the bad guys are as well. You have Coily, who's a purple egg that comes down and turns into a snake. You have Ugg and Wrong Way, two purple creatures that hop along the sides of the cubes and try to smack Q*bert. Then you have Slick and Sam, two green creatures that descend down the pyramid and change the colors that you put the right way to the wrong way, so you have to do them all over again. Q*bert from 1982 is one of the most recognized video game characters, right up there with Pac-Man, Mario, and Donkey Kong. In fact, from a standpoint of products, Q*bert was up there with the best of them. You saw Q*bert as plush toys, Legos. You saw him in movies like Wreck-It Ralph.
What's he saying, Felix?
Stand by, mantle. That was smooth. That was very smooth.
He was pretty much everywhere. He even had a TV show on the Saturday Supercade. Right there was Donkey Kong, Frogger. Pac-Man had his own show on a different network, but Q*bert did have his own show, and it was a fun character. Probably the biggest draw to Q*bert was swearing, which of course you didn't know what he said, but you got the gist when you saw those characters appear above his head and you got conked on the head. But Q*bert, again, is a game I can recommend, and I'm sure you've already played Q*bert, but if you haven't, how could you not have? Get some Q*bert on. It's available in MAME, and of course you can still find it in many, many consoles, again, from the Atari 2600 all the way up to the Xbox. So that's what I've been playing this week, although I think the guests today might have a little more information on Q*bert than I do. So let's get back to them, but remember, no matter what you do this week, remember to game on.